Once we have our original pictures for our Shapes and Patterns project, we're going to choose four. And in class, we just discussed what we're going to do with them. We're going to have borders put on them, and then we're going to print them out and mat them. So once you know which ones you're going to do, we're going to go to Pixlr. Make sure you're working in Pixlr E. Okay, if you're not, you can click on it. So X is kind of like a really basic photo editing software, and E is the more advanced one, and that's the one we want. So make sure we're on Pixlr E, and we're going to open the first image that we want to use. Yours looks a little different than mine because you're on Chromebooks and I'm on a laptop, so it's a little bit different, but you did it last time, so I think you can find it. Desktop. Photo one, Shapes Patterns. All right, here are my originals. Okay, so we're going to open up the picture that you actually want to have, that you actually want to use for this project, and we're going to go through the color correcting process with some additional options. So when we color corrected the first time, I showed you to go to the adjustments menu and levels. You cut into the curve a little bit, so I'm going to bring this in. I can look at the picture while I do this and see what it's actually helping compared to. I don't know how this looks on the projector, but on my screen it looks pretty good. I might not really move this one because the picture already has enough highlights. The light areas probably already has enough of the highlights. So I'm going to leave that where it is. I'm just going to adjust the darker parts for this picture. And then we said color balance. And we adjusted the color to add more or less red, more or less green, more or less blue, and whatever combination of those options you want. And actually in this picture, as I was doing that, as I moved away from blue, like kind of decreased the blue, the redness of the wood kind of came out. So I kind of actually like that. We want it to be pretty natural looking. We don't want to, we don't want it to look abnormal. So we want it to look pretty natural. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to save this. If you want to experiment with other adjustments, there are plenty of other adjustments that you can experiment with, right? Brightness and contrast is a little bit different than levels. Temperature and tint is a little bit different than color balance. Hue and saturation is a little bit different than color balance. Feel free to experiment. I'm not going to know what you did. I'm not going to know like what you clicked on. I'm just giving you examples or I'm giving you ideas. So I like doing levels and color balance, but you can play around with these other options if you want. Bottom line is if your picture looks natural and well balanced, then you have a good color corrected image. So we'll file, save, download, and it should pop up with where you want it to go. If it doesn't ask you where you want it to go, then you'll have to make sure you keep yourself organized and move it to the right spot. Okay, so I now saved one of my pictures. I'll go and do the second one, and so on. All right, so I will end this video here and move on.